Hello, how's everybody?
Thank you.
Hey there, Catherine, or Catherine, how you doing?
Wonderful. How are y'all?
We're cold.
Hello.
Cold is definitely the word. It is still snowing, y'all.
Did y'all get snowed in?
Yeah. All right.
I wish so. I miss sledding. So
Okay, we will give it just a few minutes for more people to join.
all right, sir.
Or Catherine,
Yes. Hey, Beth.
did you get
Hey,
my
Beth.
email about the planters in front of City Hall?
I did. I was just adding it as we speak.
Okay, I just want to make sure you got it so you could report on it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Good.
Okay. Well, I know that poor Jill is really under the weather, so we might need to send up a little prayer for her. And I know that Peter will not be able to make it, but that's all I've heard from.
Is Jill's the virus?
No, hers is gastro.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
oh gosh.
But she said that she's a psychiatrist. She said there's a mental health pandemic because we've all been in lockdown for so long. So she, bless her heart, she's got her hands full.
Is there an agenda attached?
No, I did not send it out because I just finished it about 10
Okay.
minutes ago.
All right.
But there will be minutes. And actually, I will share my screen now. There we go. And let's start marking who's here. Have y'all heard from anybody else on who's would be able to join or not?
I haven't checked.
I have not.
I'll start texting people right now.
It makes a difference, doesn't it? Oh, here comes somebody.
Oh, good. Now, Alicia and Kevin from Can We Horn possibly might join tonight. Well, Kevin is going to join late. Hey, Carolyn, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Doing well.
Good. And Carolyn Sorensen, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Gavin, are you surviving all this craziness?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can imagine.
I'm almost as busy as Lyle.
That's saying a lot. Lyle, how are you?
How you doing? How's everybody's Christmas and New Year's?
Good.
Ours was great.
Oh, mine was wonderful. It's just a little bit slower, you know?
Were you in Birmingham?
Yes. Yes, I was. We sort of divided up the family and did smaller groups, but I was there.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah. It was good. Beth, did you get to see that grandbaby?
I did. And then I
Good.
see him again this weekend.
Oh, how
Her
fun.
second baby in about 4 weeks. So I kept him this weekend so she could finish the baby's room, and she got it done. So she's a lot happier.
I bet. So you're about to be a grandmama twice over.
I know.
Oh, congratulations. And I see that Martha and Lisa and Michael just joined us. Hello.
Hello.
How was y'all's Christmas and holiday and New Year's? And
It was good.
good. Lisa, you normally go to Paris for Thanksgiving. Do you plan on staying? Are you home at Christmas? Oh, you're on mute.
Did she mute?
Lisa, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Sorry.
Ah, there we go.
We usually fly over on Thanksgiving and stay for about 10 days.
Oh, how wonderful.
And we're planning on it this year.
Good. Will you do a makeup trip or will you wait till Thanksgiving?
Depends on the vaccination.
Ah, that's the truth. That's the truth. Okay. Well, and Jim is here. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
It looks nice and sunny behind you. I don't think that's real time.
It's not Nashville.
It's not. It's not. Okay, well, looks like we've probably got our majority. I was telling the group earlier that Kevin Tilbury is going to join us a little later. He's got another meeting. So when that's over, he'll join. Jill is down for the count. So she is not going to be joining us. And let me think. Oh, and then Lee Mills actually will not be joining us either. So, and Carter, hey, Carter, how are you? Oh, I don't think she's quite joined yet. But okay, well, let's go on and jump in. So we, let's start with the action items from last month. The first one of the discussion items we had talked about was the bridge at Jackson Boulevard and possibly doing some sort of gateway or something over it in order to physically enforce the height limitation. And Carter, I think you had said you had some images from New Orleans that you were going to send us that we could perhaps emulate. Have you had a chance to dig those out yet? And you're on mute. There you go. Hi.
I was going to take some when we went down, and we were supposed to go and spend the week after Thanksgiving, and ended up just doing like a 2-day, and I didn't have a chance to drive around and do it. We were kind of a quick in and out. But I could pull some. I'm trying to think. I don't have any of the ones that I was referring to. But while we're doing this, let me see if I can I might be able to Google it, because I know where I'm looking for, and just show you all.
Okay. That actually would be a great thing also, to pass on to Kimberly Horn. So we'll talk about this a little more in our steering committee update, but we discussed that at length during the steering committee and ideas and things like that. So I'll give you a little more update on that as we go, but let's keep going down the action items. So we still don't have a sponsor for Bellmead Living, and we've discussed it's certainly not our responsibility to find a sponsor, but it is definitely in our best interest to keep this relationship going and to get as much publicity as we can. We've been very fortunate that the past 3 months, there's been a little misunderstanding over who was going to write the Commissioner Corner article. And so I was able to just jump in and do one. So we've got 3 months in a row in our Commissioner's Corner, but if we can find a sponsor, we'll have a page to ourselves. We'll have our logo. I don't know if y'all were able to see the article that came out in January, but we discussed this. The picture, I believe, was the new street signs or the lights that are going on Bellmead Boulevard. And then in December, the picture was the logo. But if we could really, it's just a great opportunity for us. So I'm just asking y'all that if you know someone who is a small business owner or a local owner of a business who would be interested in purchasing an ad in Bellmead Living, they receive an ad and we receive an article. So it's just something to think about. Tara will be reaching out.
Tell us a little bit how we could make this attractive to them. What
What they would get, they would get a whole lot of appreciation from us, and certainly they would get plugs from us. We would be happy to send anybody and everybody their way. I'd love it if we could have sort of a working relationship. We had talked about doing the summertime plantings, and we talked about rain barrels and things. If we could have a relationship with a company that we always go to them and they go to us, I think it would be great. And then if we can pull that into Bellmead Living, basically what it is they're buying an ad in Bellmead Living. So they get the ad that's placed on our page, and then we can plug them every month. If and Tara can do the sell on why to advertise in her magazine for us. It would be great appreciation, and we'll be happy to send them all the business we can. It's basically just if you know somebody who might be interested in buying an ad anyway. And then because this is, from what I understand, I don't think there's any additional cost to them. They're just paying for an ad, but that ad is what's going to pay for our page.
What was the amounts again? What were the tier levels?
Oh, the levels for Belmead Living, I think it's like 4,900.
4,900. And that's what would get us an article and get them
That's what would
sponsors.
give us an article. And they would do, it is an 18-month. So it's 4,900 for 18. It's either 12 or 18. I believe it's 18 issues. So it's a year and a half.
So
So-
every issue they'll be in.
Every issue, and they'll be on our page. They'll be the only ad on our page. So it won't be cluttered with anything else. It'll be our article, our photos, and their ad.
And then they can change their ad every month,
I
like
would
image
have to-
wise.
I would have to ask Tara that. I'm not sure. But that boils down to $6.25 per placement. So, or per magazine. So.
Okay.
So just something to think about. But and I don't have those numbers up front anymore. But Tara would be happy to give those to you. Do you have her number?
I do.
Okay, guys.
She's
I'll
called
put
me
in-
several times.
Sorry, Gavin.
Yeah.
I will add to the minutes her email and her phone number that you can just, and she is happy, like I said, to do the sales pitch. So just if you have somebody, actually, I had a friend, they have since moved out of Nashville, which is why I haven't approached them, why they're not advertising anymore, but did advertise with them. They were a catering business and they had a lot of business that came out of their that spot. So I know it's effective. So I'm making a note to add Tara's info, or you can just send it to me and I'll send it to Tara. If you would like to not be the one that, is known as nominating somebody, I'll be happy to do it. Some people are funny about that and I would respect that for sure. So.
Okay. Well, it's good to know that it's 18 months for that price.
Yes, it's not like, $5,000 a month.
One shot, right?
Right. Okay, so the next two action items are actually on hold because Jill is under the weather. So, and Peter is not able to join. He is stuck at work. And so we had talked about doing some educational lectures and things. And then, and actually Tara Biller and I were talking this week that they would like to sponsor, Belmead Living would like to sponsor some events. And so if we could pair together, that would mean we could use her platform to engage sponsors and to publicize it. And we also get all of her readership, which is not just Belmead, but it's Belmead Heights and Belmead Links, Belmead Links and Belmead Highlands. I always want to say Heights, Belmead Highlands and the Links. So, so just a little bit of a wider audience, but she would be happy to do the hosting for that and to do some promotions and that kind of thing. So something to think about for the spring as part of our educational objectives. We've just already got somebody who's interested in working with us on that. So, and then the weed wrangle details, Carter, that was another one for you. I don't know if those details are out. I have gotten an email from Casey McAllister, and Jim, thank you for making sure I was on her list. But I have not had a chance to parse it. So whenever we have more details about weed wrangle, we're kind of putting you in charge of that for distributing the info to the committee.
Yeah, there is no update right now. Actually have a meeting on Thursday and might have a little more information after that, but I have not gotten anything, no new information.
Okay, awesome. No worries. Okay, well, let's move right into the actual agenda. Lee is not here today, but let me pull up. She sent, wrong folder. She did send the financials. So let's see here. This is the quarterly financial statement. It's dated December 20th, but I thought she said it was year end. Let me change my share here.
I've got a copy, Catherine, and so
Okay.
questions, I can help.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, so here we are. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so she's not had chance. So in our last meeting, we actually requested that we'd love to sort of have a breakdown of this is what the city spends, this is what we spend. This is what is plantings, this is what is maintenance, this is what is, repairs, that kind of thing. And we've not had a chance to sort of build that out yet, just with the holiday season. So we'll expect that next month. So this is still more of the raw data, but it's completely new to us since we've seen it before. But please take a look, and I'll scroll, see if I can. Can y'all see all of that?
Mhm.
Okay. I want to make sure it's readable for everything, All right, any questions? One thing, and Beth, you'll have to help me on this.
Sure.
It's a lot of information to view right now. But if I'm not mistaken, this is not information that we can just email out to the committee. It's something we can make available, but it's not.
No, we can email it out.
Okay. Is this proprietary? Is this confidential?
No. Nothing in government is proprietary.
Oh, right.
It is all
mind.
public.
I come from the business world, so, okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll be happy to send these statements with the agenda when I send the reminder. So it'll be the week of the meeting. So that'll give y'all a little bit of time rather than, here it is, hand me any questions in the next 30 seconds. How's that sound?
I can offer just a few quick bits of information. Under
Awesome.
expenditures for the year to date, you'll see repair and maintenance services is $3,800. That is the summer watering, and the city pays 50% and beautification pays 50%. So that's your 50% amount, the $3,800.
And we normally pay this in December.
Watering truck. Now that's not irrigation. The city pays for the actual irrigation bill from Metro Water. This is the truck that goes around and waters the areas that have no irrigation.
Beth, did you notice it go up this year, just like all of Metro's water? Did we have
Oh,
it? Did it-
our water bills went up just like all the residential ones did, yes.
Okay.
So we're not treated any different than the residential people. Under same column for expenditures, the horticultural supplies and services, the bulk of that is the purchase of all of the fall plantings and the fertilizer and the soil amendments and the mulch and the installation to remove the existing flowers and plant the fall winter flowers. So that was a total of, let's see, about $14,000. And then we spent $3,800 on all of the wreaths that decorated the signposts at Christmas. So that's the bulk of that number.
Beth, why is it half of what it was last year to date?
Because we've reduced what the committee pays for. We were having the beautification fund, not the committee, excuse me. The beautification fund was spending a lot on maintenance items, and it was pretty much equaling what you were raising from your fund drive. So we've cut back on what maintenance items you all are spending on so that you can raise more money and keep it and do things with it that you want for your projects. So that's why it's such a drastic difference from last year.
Yeah.
Is that because of Jim Hunt?
I'll give Jim a lot of credit, sure.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes.
Thank you, Beth.
Sure.
Any other questions? Are y'all ready to move on? All right.
Yeah, well, this is Michael
Hey,
speaking.
Michael.
Yeah, I think we talked about this the last go round, but really we just have a dues problem, don't we?
We do.
And yeah,
Well, it's the same as year to date last year. I mean, you know, it's,
Well, yeah, but if I'm just talking about it,
we do some fundraising activities, right? That bring it in, Laura Catherine, the second 6 months.
We haven't sent the letter out yet.
Well,
Right.
yeah, so, so Beth, this is fiscal year, correct?
Yes, we're in a fiscal
calendar.
year, which begins July 1. So this statement does not record any of the official fundraising yet. We always get money in towards the end of the year for people that are on that cycle. You know, they want to contribute before December 31st.
That's the
Mhm.
calendar year you're talking now.
Right.
Yeah.
But remember, we've got a couple months before we send out that letter, so we're going to get a lot more in.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, we'll get a big push in, and hopefully by then we will have the, our website or our web page on the city's website set up. That will be, make it a lot easier for people to give, not just during the campaign, but also year round. And then hopefully we'll be able to do some events that will, yes, absolutely, Lisa, bring in some additional revenue. So.
Hey, Laura Catherine.
Mhm.
Sorry, I did find a picture of one of the street that I was gonna show y'all in New Orleans. Do you want me to share my screen real quick and see if y'all can see?
Let's wait until we get to that. That's our next topic.
Perfect.
Is the update from Belle Meade Together. So
Okay.
that'll be perfect. Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I think this may be just a matter of semantics, but when it says dues, that infers that members get a benefit from the donating. Is it just to differentiate on the spreadsheet, or do you actually consider
That's
those to be
a
dues?
great point. I do think we need to change that to donations
Okay.
versus memorials. Beth, can we make that happen? You want to talk to Lee? Thank you, Carolyn. That's a pretty big point, because we don't provide any services in kind to members at the moment. We don't. I mean, yes, we'd like to do some fundraising things and maybe some appreciation parties, but certainly not like a membership benefit. So yes.
Sort of begs the question, if people knew more about what we were doing, though. I know before I was a part of this, I didn't know. We thought the city just paid for everything.
Oh, so let's talk about that. How can we, so we're working on, articles in the newsletter, articles, in Belle Meade Living. What else can we be doing to spread our message? What we do and who we are and why you should donate.
Newsletter goes out every month.
Yeah,
seems like the big,
pictures of some good work that's been done.
It seems like the big push could be if this plan develops as far as the Belle Meade Together. That's a big sell point. I mean, as far as getting people behind a plan and dicing up portions of that, and you're giving money towards something that you can see physically.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we actually did set up in the beginning, and we haven't done much with it, a strategy development committee, which I believe was, let's see here. Let me. I think it was Michael and Gavin and Carter. Let's see here. Committee. And if y'all remember, just a reminder, every tab on the workbook that has the minutes has a tab for committee members with your SME field and your the committee you're on. So we did strategy and development, and that was Michael, Gavin, Carter. Would y'all like, I'd love to sort of maybe, and then Peter, of course, I'd love to maybe have some strategy meetings and think, how can we approach this giving season, a little more proactively? How can we really get our name out there? Now that we have been established for 2 years, we have started, we've done education articles. We are working on getting ourselves and our image and our name out there. What else can we be doing? So I'd love it if y'all, and if somebody, if any others of y'all would like to be on that committee, absolutely. But why don't we do a side meeting before February and see if we can get together and sort of brainstorm some ideas.
Good idea.
That sounds like a good idea. Where are we on the logo, Lord Catherine?
What do you mean?
As far as the logo, did that get developed and
Yeah.
kicked off? And okay.
Yes, it did. And we had articles in, we had a, it was in, I believe, November of 2019 that we launched it. And we were in the newsletter. We did a big thing in the newsletter explaining it. And we had, just ringing a bell. we did articles, and we did articles in Belmead Living, and then Belmead Living, or perhaps it was 2019 when Belmead Living went down, because we didn't announce the new logo until they came back, and they stopped around February, March 2019. Is that right, Jim?
What's the question?
When did Belmead Living begin its hiatus?
Oh, when it began it, or when it started back?
When it began it.
I think it was in July, August.
Well, no, because she wanted to be back by October, and that wouldn't have given her enough months. So I'm thinking it was like May or June, but it was our logo launched the month before that, because we were going to be announcing our logo in the next Belmead Living. And
Right.
so then we campaigned to have the cover of the new launch, but she was, believe there was some sort of restriction that it needed to be residents and not focusing on a committee or a logo or a company on the cover. So
Have we put it? Can we put it in the Belmead newsletter at some point, or has it
It
already
has
been in
been.
there?
Been in
Yeah.
there twice. We
So
do
every
it-
article we have, it's in there.
Mhm.
It is.
Okay.
So you can access past newsletters on the website, but also in our Google Drive, we have our past articles, so we can go in there and look at it. Actually, let me
Okay.
see. I've got a copy of the ones I wrote. Let's see here.
The image is in the back of the article, like,
Right, it's grayscaled and
right.
the article every month.
Yeah, it is. And then let's see here. Articles.
I apologize for not seeing it.
Oh, no, you are fine, fine, fine. Logo announcement, 11, so November of 2019 was when it was in the city. So it was right. Yeah, November 2019. The Society of Ceres is delighted to announce we have an official logo. So I'd love to play up on it, if we want to, but yes, we've already had an official launch.
When we plant some of these places, are we allowed to put a little sign up that says the Ceres Society or Society of Ceres? Just like a little sort of this part provided
Well, kind
by.
of like the plaque about Elizabeth Proctor. I mean, that's, is there anything that is written that prohibits us from doing that? Let's start with that.
No, I don't think so. I think you could put a small sign, in like the islands or wherever you.
I'm just
one of
thinking that might
those.
be a good way to promote our logo and who's doing that part of the planting garden or whatever's being put in those areas.
I think that's a great idea. Because people may not realize exactly what the society provides.
Yeah.
Okay, great idea.
Lord Catherine, can you please remind us about the newcomers welcome package?
Yes.
Made?
Yes, so the welcome packet, we actually sort of put that on hold during most of 2020 once the pandemic hit. So, but I've got a copy. No, I don't have a copy. But what it is, there is a copy in the Google Drive, but it's a green folder. So it's a Belmead that I do have because I'm putting them together right now. It is a grocery bag that said with the Bellmead logo, and inside it is a Bellmead green. It's a green folder, and you open it up, and it's got a welcome letter from Jim. It has stormwater information, garbage information, sort of an FAQs of where to go, and then a welcome letter about Ceres. And we have actually not redone that letter yet. That has been on our list of things. So that's something that we need to do. Right now, I think, Beth, it does have the new logo, right?
I don't remember if the existing letter, I don't know if it has a new logo or not, but that's an easy fix once you.
I thought I had talked to Edie about that, but I'll make sure of that. And so there are 5 sheets, and they're all sort of stacked. They're different sizes so that you see the header and you pull it out. And then also in there is, I go to, and so I'm the one that personally delivers it, leave it on the doorstep if they're not there. But if they are there, I'll introduce myself and tell them who I am and what we do, and just that we're glad to have them. But we go to Creekside and they give us like a 20% discount. And it's just a little planter, little plain planter they have. I usually buy a mix of some blue and white, and then just plain white that look a little more modern and clean. And sort of depending on the outside of the house, I'll choose which planter. But we put a little succulent in there. And then on for the welcome letter, I actually use the City of Bellmead stationery instead of the Ceres stationery. And I write, "Welcome to Bellmead. We are so excited. You know, I hope you love your new home. Sincerely." And then I just write my name and Society of Ceres, president. And so it's a handwritten note, a little succulent, because everybody can keep a succulent alive. And then the information packet. So they also receive the packet electronically. So they've got 2 places for that, but most of them are so grateful to have something in hand that just answers their questions on when's trash pickup, and do I take my bins to the outside. And I think I've really had nothing but favorable comments on just sort of somebody personally coming and being a welcome wagon to say, "Hey, we know you're here." No, it's completely dependent on them calling City Hall and telling us that they're new residents. Or if somebody moves in, like on my street, I know when somebody moves.
Yes.
I'm
in a Zoom meeting.
If somebody moves in and they haven't called City Hall, but I know they're a new neighbor, I can go take to them.
Could we put a donation letter in there? A
It's
donation envelope?
It's got a plug in there. I'm sure we can. What
How
do you
much
think?
would it cost to do an envelope with a little check mark with donate to the society?
We can do that.
I think it'd be very, and then what about the log pickup, the trash pickup, not garbage, but sticks and leaves?
All of that, all of the city services is in there. So it's absolutely everything. It's stormwater, grinder pumps, all the debris pickup, it's basically anything you need to know to move into the new town. Okay. All right. Well, let's go back to our agenda. And so we'll set up a committee or a subcommittee meeting, strategy and development, to talk about that. Now, let me go back to my share and make sure I'm sharing.
You'll give us some times that we can all meet?
Yeah, I'll send you some. I'll send probably a doodle. That just says when's the best time to meet. All right, now let's go to my share. And all right, now let's see here. All the way over. There we go. Okay, so back to here. So, okay, so here we are on our, back to our agenda. We have, so the Ceres website, we've talked about, putting that page on, but we don't really have anybody designing that yet. Do we want to sort of work on the text ourselves, or would we like to employ a web designer?
no, you don't need to employ a web designer. We have IT people that manage our website. So please don't employ anybody new that's going to charge us new fees.
Okay.
You can work with me, Laura Catherine, and whatever other small subcommittee you want to have work, and let me know what you want so that I can let our IT people know and they can come up with something and show you and see if that's suitable. But we don't
Okay, or I tell you what,
need to
can I just,
spend a lot of money on this.
sure, no, we're not looking to spend money just to spend money.
Good.
If they will give me some parameters, I will be happy to write whatever text we need.
Okay, but I think they're going to kind of want some idea of how you want it designed first. The
Okay,
tech-
Carolyn, I
easy
see you
part.
raising your hand.
So I've been through this process, and the more, if you have every single bit of information ready before you begin talking to a technical person, it depends on the platform. Some of these platforms are really super easy to add graphics, and they have templates on these pages, so it's not hard. There's some key elements. Have every bit of information and a real clear direction before you even talk to IT, and then be able to not rely on them to make any edits. That you need to have it so user friendly that Beth
Right. And
you know,
our current website is based on WordPress. I don't know if anybody's worked with that, but it's pretty easy to update almost everything in-house. Between Lyle and me, we do most of the updating. And we add a page to the website. That is IT people that have to do that. But like Carolyn,
Does WordPress have any templates that we can look at for layout?
I don't know. I think just go to our existing website and kind of look at that, Laura Catherine.
Sure.
That's
I'll do
kind of
that.
what the templates are going to be. And as Carolyn said, the more you have on and let them know what you want, the easier it is for them to say, oh, this is going to work. This is not going to work. I would rather us design it and not them.
Deal.
I've learned from
I would
experience.
me too.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to work with me, or has, I'd be happy to entertain them. Y'all just let me know.
We can't hear you, Laura Catherine.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's so strange.
Where's your
I'll
mic-
be happy
Where's your microphone?
somewhere on my laptop.
When you turn your head, we lose your voice.
Yes.
Oh, that's
When
good
you
to know.
look, whatever, to your left.
Okay, so if I look straight on,
Good.
y'all hear me? Perfect. Okay. So I'll be happy to own that. And y'all just let me know if you have any ideas or if you'd like to work with me. So, okay, let's move on to the Bell Me Together update. So the steering committee met on January the 6th, and it was a really good meeting. Kimberly Horn has taken all of the comments. So I'm really excited about the level of engagement that we had. We had over 1,300 unique hits to the website, and we had over 300 comments on the map, and we had over 120 people show up to the in-person events. So that's just awesome. So all of this information is now being put together, and I will show you a little bit. So our where is it? Our beautification comments. It was a category on the interactive map, and it accounted for 12.7% of the comments, which in addition, we had many comments on burying power lines on Bellamy Boulevard and branding mixed in with the beautification. So it was more than 12%, but that's what the actual just beautification comments were. So Kimberly Horn is taking feedback, and they are parsing it, and they are, like I said, categorizing it, and then writing down some metrics. What's the most important? So let me show you. Let's see, here we go. All right, so with this, landscaping and beautification, the themes, the main themes. So right here is the map that we see, and these are the comments that we had. They were in regards to Bellmead being a gateway to gathering spaces, to underground utility lines, pocket parks, and then Bellmead Boulevard. And then if we look at the hotspots, hang on. Where is it? Bellmead Boulevard, there we go, was the biggest. You see the red, Bellmead Boulevard, and then Linwood Boulevard were the biggest areas of comment. So the biggest areas of engagement, if you can see, are entrances to the city. So at Bellmead Boulevard, at Linwood, or this is the Abbott Martin Harding, or sorry, this is the Harding, and then this is Linwood Abbott Martin, and then the boulevard itself. So those were our top areas. And there, like I said, Kimley Horn is taking all of this information and they are categorizing it and then putting together, basically weighting it based on how much each, how many comments we got and what they were and that kind of thing, and going through them. So the next few months will be Kimley Horn taking this information, meeting with the steering committee, and creating a draft plan. And we will be able to, we're just very fortunate that we're going to be able to be working, that we as Ceres will be working with Kimley Horn. They'll be joining our meetings to talk about creating this plan. So we'll have some input into the actual creation. Now, Carter and I, oh, hi, Kevin.
Hey, Laura Catherine, I just want to let you know I'm on the call. So I was enjoying all the compliments you were giving me. So I was just sitting
That
back.
is just perfect timing. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us, guys. If y'all did not get to meet Kevin in the meeting when he joined in November, this is Kevin Tilbury. He's the project manager from Kimley Horn. He is very, very, very capable, and we are so excited to have him working with us. So he is head of the whole Bellmead Together plan, and thank you for joining us. So,
Well, thanks for having me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I mean, Laura Catherine, you did an excellent job of summarizing the public input.
well, I was just trying to show what we were doing in regards to beautification, but as a quick overview. But if you have anything to add, I know we'd love to hear it.
Well, I mean, I think that you did a really good job. We received in total over 300 comments on the plan map, both people that went online and put comments on the map, and then at some of the in-person events that you referenced, the Meet the Team Day and some of the listening sessions that we had. People, clearly are very interested in maintaining Bellmead's existing character. So we had a lot of comments to that effect. Comments that may not directly relate to beautification, but I think have implications. So we heard a lot about gateways. We heard a lot about traffic management. And so all those types of things will include the way that we approach solutions for those will definitely have implications for beautification. As you might imagine, we got a few comments on Bellmead Boulevard, as you mentioned. So we've identified a few areas that we're calling focal points that will have a more engaged discussion. And Bellmead Boulevard is clearly one of those. There are a spectrum of desires and opinions on that. So we would see Ceres as being, especially, you'll be a key stakeholder for the whole plan, but we see you being especially important on that very specific issue as well. And so as the plan starts to come together, we'll definitely rely on you all to help provide input on some, alternative approaches to Bellmead Boulevard for sure.
Thank you. Excuse me. And Kevin, whoa, sorry, I got a frog in my throat right at the wrong time. 1 second. Kevin, before you joined, one of our action items from last month was we actually were discussing the let me back that up. That was 4 sentences that didn't go anywhere. The original discussion about the Jackson Boulevard Bridge came from the husband of one of our members. And so we have discussed that a little bit, knowing that it would be also presented during the steering committee and discussed. And so in our meeting, Carter Dawson, who's also on the steering committee, had talked about, she had planned a trip to New Orleans and was hoping to have some time to look at some of their bridges that they have and take some photos just to see. And so, Carter, I think you found a few images. Would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, let me see if I can. Let's see.
And now we know that this is just images to look at and discuss. This is not, we're not making a final decision, Kevin. I don't want to scare you. But we, and so for the Ceres committee, in the steering committee for Bellmead Together, we looked at branding images. What do we want? What images evoke Bellmead and what would we like to use in our branding? And also looking at other communities that were similar to say, you know, maybe some ideas and solutions that we have not implemented here, but that similar cities have. And of course, New Orleans comes to mind with their bridges that are, you know, older than time, that need to be protected. And so this is just sort of the beginning of this discussion where we'd like to say, well, if we were going to go this route of physically having, you know, a barrier on that bridge, and also we discussed the Clarendon and the Evelyn bridges. Is it Evelyn or Evelyn?
Evelyn.
Thank you. I hear both and I just never know. So Evelyn. So the Evelyn and the Clarendon bridges possibly. But anyway, just an idea to start looking and saying, what would that look like? What would a bridge that had something over it, you know, that kept the beauty and the branding and the look of Bellmead without being woohoo showy and without being really commercial, looking like a highway overpass. And so this is where we're starting that search. And Lisa, actually, you know, since Genius is the one who started this excellent discussion, if he has any ideas, we would love to see them and you know, see what he has in mind, or even a sketch. We certainly would love to see that.
Submit some photos with his comments.
The what?
I think he did submit some photos with his comments.
Great. Oh, great. So I just haven't seen those, but wonderful. Thank you.
Well, and for those of you all, and it's not letting me share my screen, but Audubon Place in New Orleans is one of the most like high-end streets in the city, and it's it's a dead-end street that comes off of St. Charles Avenue, and they have now theirs is also, it's like they have a guard gate at that location to restrict traffic on that street, but they do have the arched thing. If y'all, you can probably look, I mean, and I've Googled it, you can Google Audubon Place entrance, New Orleans, and take a look. It's probably way more than, you know, what we would want for something here. They kind of have two almost like little guard houses on either side with this overarching metal section. But I will say it is beautiful. It is lovely. It is very.
Can I pause you for 1 second, Carter? Hey,
Sure.
Lyle, are you there?
Yes.
Can you make Carter the presenter and then she'll be able to share her screen?
Go ahead and do that.
Thank you. Sorry, Carter. I just would love to be able to, we'd love to see what you're seeing. And then Carter, down at the bottom, if you enlarge the speaker so you see everybody, down at the bottom, you should see a share screen in the center.
Yeah.
Is it grayed out?
No, I can hit it, but then it doesn't, it gives me kind of a
choice.
board. It says desktop.
Yeah, the easiest would be just your desktop, and then whatever window you have open, we'll see.
Okay.
I'm sharing. Wait a
Hi,
minute.
Carolyn.
It's not me, but
Hang on. Here's one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait. I mean, can you see it?
that's a really old picture because this is a really old. So
Here's
yes,
one.
that is it. And
Audubon Place.
you can blow that one up, Carolyn.
There we go.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's pretty elaborate. Are we looking for something that fancy?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably more than what we would need. Like, but I just wanted to show you all of one that was, I mean, this is the nicest neighborhood, probably the most expensive street in New Orleans. And this is what they have at the entry of that street. And so I just wanted to show y'all as an example of what, you know, where it is done in other places. That was just for
Thank you.
reference.
Okay, awesome. So the steering committee is going to be taking a lot of images and we'll be, we will be looking at them and discussing them. Kevin, would you put that as just one of the images to discuss, just kind of to talk about?
Yeah, yes, as a matter of fact, Laura Catherine, so I know specifically of the images that we're referring to because they were actually embedded in the comment map for Jackson Boulevard. So we included one of them in the photo survey. And the steering committee, yeah, yes, it's the one, I can't remember the specifically, I think it was Rose Garden, South Sea Rose Garden. And people love the idea of a spanning arch. How it actually gets applied in Belmead, I think, is going to be the challenge so that it is consistent with the character of Belmead and not, you know, another place. And so I think that's going to be the challenge, is creating that element in a very context specific way. But as a concept, yeah, people really liked it.
Okay, awesome. I'm trying to
If I'm
find that
not
image.
mistaken, there's one in Mont Eagle at the
I was
Assembly.
gonna say Mont Eagle is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Carolyn, let's see, do you want to pull that up?
I'm gonna look, I'll look, let's see.
Okay.
Mont Eagle. Okay. I got it.
Share away.
Share away.
Okay.
So that's before, here's the guardhouse, and this is before that. So it's much more in keeping with.
Yeah, in keeping with Belmead. Kevin, is that, excuse me, is that one of the images that we have for the steering committee?
No, not that one specifically, but we can include it.
Let's add that one. I think that one definitely is pretty in keeping with, at least with the stone columns and things, you know, just in keeping with Belmead. So Ceres committee, just as we were discussing the bridges and things, the steering committee was really, our biggest focus is we want to keep the beauty of Belmead. You know how when the bridges on the boulevard were created, they were specifically created to be not showy, you know, to be very subtle, very beautiful, to focus on the natural landscape. And so we would like to keep within that theme of not being ostentatious, I think is the word. Now, again, this is just the steering committee, and that's just been discussions we've had. And certainly everything that we discuss then goes to the public to say, do you agree? What do you like? And do you, is this something? So, but also our committee plays a role in this. And so if there are, and this directly is part of branding and it is beautification. It is the landscape of our city. It's the entrance to our city. So if y'all have any ideas or anything like that, please reach out, let me know. I can always forward to Kevin. Carter is on the steering committee as well. If you'd ever like to know in depth sort of more of the discussions we're having and what they are, just reach out. We'd love to keep you in the loop.
It seems to me like this is the beginning of the discussion of gateways. And not only just gateways where it's something, I think this was done because of a function of a truck maybe going down a bridge.
Right.
But I think it should be addressed. Yeah, that's one particular area, but I think there are several gateways that probably need to be addressed because sometimes you feel like you're coming into the backside of Belmead We do have a few signs up, but I think that, Forest Hills has done a pretty good job as far as their identification with those stone markers. I think it's starting to the discussion of gateways, and I think this is very positive.
Thank you, Gavin. Appreciate that.
So, yeah, and I think, Gavin, you also pointed out, I think we're looking for elegant solutions. And so one of the issues on Jackson Boulevard is truck traffic. And so a gateway with a spanning arch is what we would refer to as an elegant solution to discourage or prohibit trucks
Look at
from,
that Chili's.
going
That's what we want.
on Jackson Boulevard that's attractive. And as far as gateways, absolutely. So one of the things that we'll do as part of the plan development is identify, Lyle, you know what it is. I believe there are over 20 gateways into Belmead. And so as part of the plan, we'll identify those specific locations and then gateway treatments for each one. And so that would be, I would think, an area where we would certainly want to engage Ceres on, the different elements that would comprise that gateway, not just spanning arches, but it could be median islands, monuments, signage, the several different types of strategies. Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there needs to be some definite identification for those gateways and actually the presence of where you begin and where you stop Belmead.
I agree. Awesome.
Was there discussion also with your committee about sidewalks and safety? I mean, I know that sidewalks are a major part of that. If you're walking any of the major arterials of the city, I don't know if there's been a lot of information as far as the sidewalks are concerned.
So Gavin, I'm going to share, give me a minute to get there. Sorry, way too big. We definitely had some major themes. So to look at, here we go, response by category. Can y'all read that? So traffic calming and then walking and cycling were absolutely the largest responses. So walking specifically was 32.7, and then traffic calming sort of comes into that as far as safety for pedestrians and cycling. So those were the top three, were walking, traffic calming, and beautification. So absolutely, the steering committee is talking about that. And I think one of the things that we're so grateful to Kinley Horn for is their approach is very holistic and integrating these solutions together so that while we're implementing traffic solutions, we're also, as Kevin said, looking for elegant solutions to the traffic issues so that we can have some branding and some beautification while we're working on traffic calming and walkability and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Harding has become much more manageable, it seems to me, since the sidewalks have been installed on both sides of Harding. And it may have taken a long time to get this to come about, but I've even seen that those sidewalks were celebrated over Christmas. I noticed that everyone had, their own sort of block, and you're right there, Laura Catherine, with your candle lights and the bags or whatever those were. But I think that could go a long ways for the major streets that I think it does calm that area of Harding down.
Oh, absolutely it does. And even more so at Christmas when you did have the lights, because otherwise it's just a long, dark stretch. I'm right on the main and I'm just far enough away from the stop sign that I hear the screeching tires and then the, zooming of the acceleration, when somebody doesn't know there's the stop sign coming up at 10. And, but I mean, especially at night, the traffic is the speeds are so high, and but we have had such success with having sidewalks on both sides of the streets. I think that's been part of it, is that it's both sides. And I'll say from a neighborhood standpoint, our neighborhood really came together. Before we were just a bunch of strangers living next to each other that would wave when we got the mail, and now we know each other, we know each other's children, we know each other's pets, and we really did the luminaries, and then the 2 years ago, and then the balls came about from the sidewalk community that we just got to know each other. So as part of beautification, and one of our objectives is building community through this beautification. That's another opportunity. But we've really become a pretty tight knit down Harding Place.
So you would say that the sidewalks have brought you together?
They have. They absolutely have. So that's just been another added benefit. So, okay, well, we are coming up at 6:30. And I don't know if you know, but there's a little bit of a football game on in just a little while. So
I'm gonna say, can we have a longer meeting tonight?
no, we cannot. But come on, Martha, you are going to cheer.
Another hour, maybe.
I'm recording the game, but I'm not going to be that nice if we run over.
I just was waiting to do that.
Well, let's move on to our other committee updates. So Jill, like I said, is under the weather. So she will present her rain barrel opportunity at the next meeting. But as far as education is going, Carolyn put the calendar, the writing calendar on the Google Drive. So thank you very much. And then let's see, Lisa, you wrote the article for this month. Is that right? In the city newsletter?
It's out.
And it was right. You were clematis. And I loved it. Y'all, it was wonderful. It came yesterday is when I got my newsletter. So if y'all haven't read it yet, absolutely do. It was wonderful. And then for the planters, Beth, you wanna update us?
Well, Lee got a message today from the hen feathers person, and they are set to ship this Thursday.
Woohoo!
Have them soon, and Mark can get to work on filling them up.
Great.
Awesome. That's
great.
very exciting. Thank you, Martha, again for ordering those. Now, when do you meet with LSI to talk about the spring plantings?
I don't know. Beth, do you know?
I'm thinking it's around late February, maybe, so we can make our decisions.
Okay. All right.
Late February, early March, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So Martha's been the one that's been handling our plantings. I don't know if you want any help. I don't know if anybody wants to help you, but certainly,
Yeah, I would love some help. But I think Seth was on the committee with me, but he missed it last time.
That's right. Okay. And he's not here again today. Okay. Well, if somebody else would like to help Martha, you just reach out to her or reach out to me and we'll get that together. And right now, are there any other committee updates, subcommittee updates? Anybody? Okay. Just because we discussed it and it is a subcommittee, I will send out a poll to see when we can meet for the strategy and development. So sometime between now and the February meeting, see if we can talk about some ways that we can really approach this year's fundraising campaign just with a little more proactiveness. Certainly being the third year in, this is our time to step up and say, okay, we've been laying the foundation. This is who we are. This is what we're doing. Let's hit the ground running. So we'll work on that. Our next meeting, I did not update that. That still says January. Our next meeting is on February the 8th. As always, we are the second Monday of the month. And I know that in 2020, I sent out at the beginning of the year a list of all of the dates for the Ceres invites, but I did not do a calendar invite. Would y'all prefer me to do a calendar invite or just an email and then you add it to your calendars? Calendar invites are easy.
Calendar.
Yeah, calendar invites are better for me because then I can track. You can accept or decline at any time, even if you accept and then you get sick and you need to decline. But that's a way for me to track, sort of who's going to be here. So I will send that out.
Laura Catherine, and maybe I've missed this, but are there action items that come or minutes that come from our meetings? I've looked at the big giant file and
there are. So if you are you looking at my screen now?
I'm looking at, yes.
Okay, so this is December 14th. And we started the meeting with the agenda, with the action items from the previous meeting, and then I indicate them down in the notes. If there's a decision, it's in red. There's an action item, it's in blue. And then down at the bottom, we have an area for action items right here.
Great.
And so, but if you would like, I can start, and Lyle puts the, I do a PDF for him, and Lyle, I believe I'm a month or two behind, I apologize. But he puts the minutes on the city website, but also I put it in our Google Drive, but it's all part of this massive package. So if you would like, I can email the minutes to the meeting, to the committee after the meeting, and spell out the initial action items. Would y'all like that?
Yes.
Okay, and that is easy peasy.
As long as I can find it on Google Drive, I'm happy.
Well, on Google Drive, you would go to, so when you open up, because when it's on Google Drive, it always opens to the very first page of the workshop which is this. And so if you scroll over, and there's quite a bit, the last green tab, we're always the last green tab. So the minutes, and I usually do the agenda the week before because there are a lot of updates that need to be done. So it'll be the last green tab that'll be the minutes of the most recent. But you can always go back. I find this format easy because I can go back and say, when did we make this decision? Was it the 11th or was it on the 10th? You know, when was it? And so so that's where it is. If you're going to look, you would go to the last green tab, and then the very bottom would say action items.
That's great. Because I know that the last meeting that we talked about is possibly having more sustainable plant materials for the seasonal plantings. And it just occurred to me as we were talking to Martha about the plantings. I was like, oh, I can't remember seeing anything as a follow-up.
Gotcha. So we haven't. So actually, would you like to work with Martha on that? I
Well,
want to volunteer you. I mean, yeah.
I'm not no. I nominate Caroline. The other.
Caroline, would you be willing to
I
work
was
with
gonna call
Martha on that?
I will help her through a little stretch here.
Okay.
Thank you.
And since we're a little bit off, the composting, would that be somebody who would like to buy, help us pay for our paper? The people, the green boxes, do you all know what I'm talking about? All right, I'll get you the information.
Compost Nashville?
Yes. I feel like they might be interested because Belmead has really been gotten quite active with them.
Have we?
Is that
So
Jeff
were you
Azell?
saying?
Excuse me, what?
Is that Jeff Azell?
Yes,
I
it is.
think so. Yeah, I know him.
Clay Ezel.
Yeah.
If you know him personally, that'd be much better than me just, please.
I'll see what I can do.
Good.
Okay, Gavin, I'm putting a action item for you to reach out about that. Awesome. Okay, is there anything else anybody would like to discuss or bring up?
I would like to say that our commissioners will be having our annual retreat the middle of February. And if anybody's got any suggestions that you'd like us to discuss, Laura Catherine, I believe you've got all those. So why don't you formulate those into a kind of a questionnaire for me to take to the retreat on this. I think it's 16th and 17th or 17th and 18th, I believe.
17th and 18th.
Yeah. And
Okay, great. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put together the topics from our agendas that have really been sort of our main issues, and we'll review them since Ceres meets on the 8th, and make sure I'm not leaving anything out. And then we will have that ready for you by the 17th.
very good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else have anything you want to discuss or bring up or? comments, questions, complaints?
Yeah, roll tide.
Roll Tide is right. I would like to say I have held that in all night. I want some
You're
points.
really good.
Well, thank you.
Really nervous. Like I'm nervous.
Alabama's favored by 8.5. I think the spread's about 75.5 points.
It is not 70.
Not over, I mean, the over and under is 7.5. Excuse me.
I don't know.
The over and under is
what that means.
75.5 and the spread's 8.5.
I don't know what that means. I just want a W. I just really do. But I will be a good sport. We've certainly, those of you who know Alabama, we go through good times, we go through bad times too. So there's losing part of it. But if you'd like to cheer for our boys in crimson, feel free. Okay, well, listen, I really appreciate y'all tonight. We're right at 6:40, so I will end it here. I will send the meeting minutes, not tonight. It will be at least tomorrow. And I'll put the action items in the email. And then, of course, it'll be in the Google Drive. And then Lyle, I will send you a PDF for uploading to the city website. Sound good?
Very good.
Okay, thank y'all. Oh, and also,
Thank you.
y'all, the other thing is that these meetings are recorded and they are on the website. So Lyle can show you, but there's also the recording of all these meetings. If you ever want to go back and play them, they're also on the city website. So just an FYI. Okay, thank y'all again. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for your commitment to this committee. I'm so honored to be working with y'all, and I just want to say thank you so much. You're so appreciated. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Al.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.